Christmas Island may be famous for its crabs, diving and even its bird life, but the biggest employer and income earner on Christmas Island is the phosphate mine. With phosphate mining starting on Christmas Island over 100 years ago, with the current mine owners, Australian company PRL, priding itself on its strong sense of corporate responsibility, both in its community commitments and environmental responsibilities. I met Joy, the senior environmental advisor at the mine, and she took me on a tour of the mine sites around the island and the packing and loading areas. So please join Joy and me on this amazing tour.
Well, Joy, here we are. You're senior environmental advisor at the mine here, the phosphate mine here on Christmas Island. Now, you take people on tours when you've got time available and so on, so people can go to the information centre and ask for information and say they can book a tour, yeah?
Yep, that's the way we do it.
Okay, brilliant. Well, tell me a little bit about the history of the mine. When did it all start?
The reason the island's here is because of the mine of the phosphate.
Yep.
It was back in the 1800s. CIP came to being after the government closed down their operation.
So CIP is Christmas Island Phosphate?
Island Phosphates, which is a privately owned company.
Yep.
Owned by shareholders. The government closed down the mine in the 80s and locals wanted to stay on the island and have a future.
Wow, fantastic. Well, where are we going today? We're going to have a look at some of the mine today, as it is today. So what are we going to do?
We'll have a look at the mining fields. We'll have a look at in situ mining, is where we mine within the pinnacle base. And we'll have a look at stockpile removal. And then we'll actually go through to the processing, the blending, the drying, transport through conveyors through the centre of town, and then down to ship loading and dust bagging. Mining methods have changed over the years. Historically, they were left as pinnacles. Leave a soil base behind as well, so when rehabs do happen eventually, there's actually a soil base to start with. You don't have to try and import as much soil. It leaves, eventually this will become a trafficable surface. It'll be bundled off still, but it'll be trafficable, so somebody can go in there and actually walk. With the pinnacles, you couldn't do that because you were at risk of falling into a great big hole, and it's extremely dangerous. Mining is carried out by excavators for in situ mining, which loads it onto a dump truck, which then goes to a stockpile prior to being transported into town.
So, and then the kilns dry it, or?
The kilns dry it, they're on an angle, they're running at 700 odd degrees. And as it rotates, the product gravitates down through inside the kiln, and that's the drying process. That's the total processing that we do. It's fed through the conveyor into the chute, and then the gravity feeds through the kilns. This is where you get to, as it dries, the finer particles, the dust, goes through the cyclones and into the baghouse. The baghouse is like a huge vacuum cleaner. It collects all the dust. So that's where our two product streams actually commence. Some of it in Malaysia is actually direct feed onto crops. Dust in particular is into direct feed, which is why we actually ship it out in 25 kilo bags, because a normal person can handle a 25 kilo bag. So for subsistence farmers, that is a better method of doing it.
So this whole cantilever swings out, and then over the ocean, and that's where the ship ties up.
Well, that's the end of the tour. The ship loading's over, the ship's gone. It's time to go home. If you'd like to come on a mine tour, please contact CETA. The girls will help you, and contact me and we'll organise a time and date.
For great places to stay and things to do, including booking a mine tour on Christmas Island, all you have to do is visit the Christmas Island Tourism Association website at www.christmas.net.au, and their amazing team will do the rest.